either seated or lying on your back with your eyes closed. Begin with 3 deep, slow breaths. And you might start to notice that your mind is bouncing around, and it'll take a couple breaths for your mind to start to quiet down. And if it doesn't happen for like the first, 30 minutes of class, that's totally fine. The reason that we break it down into 3 breaths is because a lot of times, like with anything else in life, if we break something down into a smaller part and we tackle the smaller part, it becomes much easier. So instead of trying to, keep our mind sharp and focused and clear for the entire class, let's just try to bring our attention to our breathing for 3 breaths. And just stay in your seated position or lying down with your eyes closed and continue to focus on your breathing. I came across a word a while back that I think is a pretty cool concept, but it's also very appropriate for the time that we're in right now. And the word is sonder. And sonder means the realization that other people's lives are just as complex and complicated and interesting and rich as your own life. And I've been coming back to that idea a lot in the past couple months because I have this tendency to feel like what's happening right now is only happening to me. And that connection, that empathetic connection between you and another person, whether you know them or not, realizing that their life is just as complicated as yours, kind of opens up our eyes, opens up our hearts. And there's something to be said for the connection that comes with feeling like you're not alone. And so just staying with that idea, let's take 3 more breaths. Final inhale. And calm exhale. If you're on your back, slowly roll onto your side. Come into a tabletop position. If you're seated, you can just slip your legs out behind you. So in tabletop, we've got shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. We'll begin to warm up the spine a little bit. So on your next inhale, find cow pose. Drop your belly, lift your chest, look up. Exhale, cat pose. Tuck your chin and round through your spine. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. Let's take one more. Breathe in, cow pose. And breathe out, cat pose. And then come back to center, curl your toes under, lift your hips for downward facing dog. In downward dog, you should look like an upside down V or a triangle. You can just begin to bend your knees right and left as you push one heel and then the other into the floor behind you. Start to feel a stretch in your legs. Look up at your hands. Make sure that your fingers are spread apart nice and wide. Your palms are flat or as flat as you can get them on the floor. Then look at your hands. Take little baby steps up to the front of your mat. Stand with your feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees a little bit. Let your belly rest on your thighs and take your hands to opposite elbows. And then just let your head hang heavy. Now, most people will have a pretty good bend in their knees for this one. The more you bend your knees, the more it'll help your back to relax. And so just know, like the first few minutes of class, like things are pretty tight still. So you can go a little bit out of your way to set your body up for success. And on your next inhale, hands to your hips, come up halfway. With your belly in and your knees a little bit bent, come up all the way. And walk your feet together. Arms are by your sides. Screen a little bit here. All right, from here, let's inhale, reach our arms up. And on the exhale, bring your hands together into prayer position in front of your chest. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, interlace your fingers, push your palms down, and exhale through an open mouth. Inhale through your nose as you lift your arms up to the ceiling. And exhale out through an open mouth. Hands come through the center. Interlace your fingers halfway, push your palms down. So we'll do 3 more breaths like this. Inhale, fill your lungs, arms up. Exhale, empty your lungs, arms come down. Two more, inhale. And exhale, hands through the center. Last breath here. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, hands to the center. And then release your arms down by your sides. We'll begin with a couple balancing postures so that we can steady our mind and steady our eyes. And when you're at home trying to stand on one foot, it's useful to pick a spot out in front of you to focus your eyes, because your eyes are going to be your most valuable resource in holding your balance. So pick an object out in front of you, keep your eyes on it, bend your right knee, open it up to the side, and place the sole of your foot anywhere on the inside of your left leg. This is tree pose. Hands together at your chest, and then keep your eyes steady on whatever the object is that you pick to look at in front of you. Now, can you unclench your left toes from the floor? And take a big breath in. And a calm breath out. And then hands to your hips, lower your right leg down. We'll set up the same thing on the other side. So a good thing for those of you who indicated that you are brand new to yoga is that everything we do on one side, we do on the other side. So by the time we get to the second side, you have an idea of what's coming. Unclench your right toes from the floor now. Pull your belly in, your core stays engaged to give you stability. And your eyes are steady on that point that you picked out in front of you. Take one more breath. And release, feet together, arms down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Interlace your fingers over your head. I'll bring my grip. See, it's pointer fingers out. Everything else is clenched together. Crescent moon pose. Take a breath in. And then on the exhale, bend your body to the right. So you're just doing a side stretch, making your body into the shape of a half moon. Take a breath in without coming up at all. And a breath out, go a little bit deeper. Then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, go to the other side. So just making your body into a half moon shape to the left this time. Now notice if you are starting to look down at the floor, rotate your chest open so that you're still looking straight out ahead of you. Take an inhale, staying right here. Exhale, come down an inch. And on your next inhale, come back to center. Lower your arms down, parallel to the ground. Walk your feet hip distance apart. And bend your knees and lower your hips for powerful pose. So it's like you're sitting in a low chair. Now lean your body weight a little bit back, but your toes can stay on the floor. Now, this posture can get pretty intense. And when the intensity goes up, we have to deepen our focus on our breath. So all together, let's take a big breath in and a calm breath out, maybe coming down an inch deeper as you exhale. And release. Straighten your legs to come up. Keep your arms there. Lift up onto your tiptoes. And you can either stay right here or you can bend your knees and lower your hips any amount. So it takes a little bit of balance to hold this posture. So you're going to rely on that spot out in front of you where you're focusing your eyes to help you hold your balance. Now take a calm breath. Big inhale. And calm exhale. And release. Straight legs. Reach up. And float your arms down. Walk your feet together. Take a breath in. And a breath out. And inhale, reach your arms up. On the exhale, fold all the way down until your hands touch the ground. With your hands on the ground, step your left foot way back to the back of your mat. Then lower your left knee to the mat. Untuck your left toes. And pull your belly in, engage your left leg. That's the one that's stretching out on the floor behind you. Now you can stay here with your leg on the ground, or you can lift the leg up, and everybody, whether your left knee is down or not, can come into Javelin Runner's Lunge. So arms are engaged alongside your body. You're leaning a little bit forward. So you see there's a straight line from my head down to my left heel. Unclench your right toes from the floor. Push down a little bit more through your right heel. Take one more inhale. On the exhale, hands to the floor. Then bend both legs and shift your hips back and float your left foot forward. With your hands on the floor, step your right foot back and put your right knee on the ground. And so we just take a couple breaths here in this stretch to start to open your hips. If your hands don't quite go all the way to the floor, you can make two fists and put your fists down. Or you can cross your fingers and put your left hands on your hands on your left thigh. Now you can stay here with your right knee on the ground or curl those toes under, lift your right knee up, and then everybody, whether your knee is on the ground or not, fly your arms alongside of you for Javelin Runner's Lunge. If you've got your back knee lifted, lift the heel too. So it's not reaching back, it's actually reaching up and forward, like you're standing up on the tippy toe of your right foot. Now, is your core engaged? But can you take a deep breath? And hold it here for one more inhale. On the exhale, hands to the floor. Bend your knees, shift your hips back, and then float your right foot forward. And with your hands on the floor, you're stepping your left foot back again. So we start with the legs the same as we did in the first posture. This time, arms go all the way up for Crescent Lunge. Getting as close to a 90-degree angle in your right knee as you can. Relax your right toes. You want more pushing through your right heel into the floor than to grab it with your right toes. Take a big breath in. Slow breath out. And we'll move into warrior two from here. So just take your back heel, spin it down. Your hips and shoulders will automatically open to the side, and then lower your arms parallel to the ground. You might be starting to feel a little bit of a burn in your right leg. That's exactly where you want to be. Remember when the intensity turns up to lean into the breath. So calm inhale. And calm exhale. And then turn your hands so your thumbs are up. Bent leg triangle. You can rest your right elbow on your thigh for support. Reach your left arm up toward the ceiling. If you don't need your right arm on your thigh, you can reach it down toward the floor. You'll get a little extra core strengthening that way. And turn your eyes up to your left hand. Take a breath in. And a calm breath out, maybe twisting your eyes a little bit more toward the ceiling. Then keeping your legs right where they are, just bring your upper body back to warrior two. Hold it here for a big breath in and a calm breath out. And then cartwheel your hands to the floor. This is the same transition we did before. Shift back and then float your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. Find your lunge position. Arms come up for crescent lunge. So like I said, we do all the same things on the second side. So you kind of know what's coming next and you know how to pace yourself as well. Maybe you're not going all out 150% the first 5 seconds of the posture. But as you start to breathe deeper, maybe you can come down a little bit further. Let's take a big breath in. A calm breath out. Opening up into warrior two. So spin your back heel down. Your hips and shoulders will automatically open and your arms come down parallel to the ground. Now, if your feet feel like they're sliding away from each other, really power up the muscles in holding on tight with your toes. That doesn't quite work as well as using the larger muscle groups to hold your legs in place. Turn your hands, bent leg triangle, left arm down, right arm up. Your left hand or your left forearm can go to your thigh. Right hand reaches for the ceiling. Maybe sink a little bit lower into your hips. Take a big breath in. Calm breath out, maybe twisting a little bit deeper toward the ceiling. Then coming back up, warrior two. Take a breath here. And as you exhale, cartwheel your hands to the floor. Step your right foot forward. We're going to stay in this forward fold. Walk your feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees, put your belly on your thighs, and slide the palms of your hands under the soles of your feet. And if you can't quite reach that far, that's totally fine. You can put your hands on the floor, or you can grab the backs of your legs and just let your head hang down. We'll take 2 really good slow breaths here. Final exhale. On your inhale, hands to your hips, come up halfway. On your exhale, come up all the way. And then take a couple steps back to the center of your mat. And standing in mountain pose, which is this position, legs are straight, arms are by your sides. Take a moment here to catch your breath if you need to. So big inhale and calm exhale. Now lift your right leg up 90 degrees. Lift your arms up overhead. Step your right foot forward in front of you and shift your body weight to the right foot. Now, as you sweep your arms alongside you, you'll lift your left leg off the floor for toppling tree pose. Now, it doesn't matter how deep you go in toppling tree. You can actually keep your back foot on the ground if that works better for you. The idea is our body goes in a straight line no matter how far we go. Now, when you stand on one foot, the hip that's in the air tends to go up. So drop it down so that it's the same height as the hip on your right leg, the one that you're standing on. And let's take a calm breath here. On our next inhale, we'll go right back to where we started. Arms up, left leg up, and then everything comes down for mountain pose. Take a breath in and a breath out. Then we'll do the same thing on the other leg. Raise your arms up, reach your right leg up 90 degrees. And take a step. Rather, left leg up, take a step. Now your right leg lifts off the ground as your arms swing alongside of you. And calm breathing. And don't worry if both sides are not looking exactly the same. We generally have one side where we can balance better, one side where we're more flexible. Take a calm breath all together. And all the way back to where you started. Arms up, right leg up, and mountain pose. Feet together, arms down. Take a breath in and a breath out. All right, we've got another standing posture, dancer's pose. So sweep your arms up overhead. Lower, grab your right foot. Now, if you are needing a little bit of support with your balance, the cool thing is you're at home. You can grab a chair, you can put your left hand on a wall, whatever you need. And then we just begin to kick any amount. And also, not kicking at all is perfectly acceptable if you want to stay right here and work on your balance. Otherwise, we kick a little bit. Let the chest come forward a little bit. Eyes are focused. Let's take 3 breaths here. And when you know the countdown on your breath, sometimes you can kind of unconsciously speed up because you know when the end is. But it's a good place to practice patience, breathing and counting very slow. Last breath here. And then release. Feet together, arms down. Inhale, arms up. Lower your left elbow to your waist. Reach back, grab the inside of your left ankle behind you. You can stay exactly right here. You can hold on to the wall if you need to. And then if you want to kick out, begin kicking any amount. And as you kick out, your chest comes down. But your eyes stay focused on that point in front of you. And focus on your breathing. So big inhale and calm exhale. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Practice counting and breathing super duper slow, as slow as you can. Not forcing it. You just don't want to be in a rush to get to the end. Mountain pose, feet together, arms down. Take your breath in. One more standing posture. Let's do tree pose again. So hands on your hips, bend your knee, open it up to the side. Place the sole of your foot on the inside of your standing leg. For this tree pose, you can have your hands together, or you can reach your arms out like the branches of a tree. And let's all try to stand up 1 more inch taller and take a breath that's 1 second longer, a little bit deeper, and release. Coming back to the mountain pose, hands on your hips, open up the other side, place the sole of your foot on the inside of your standing leg, hands begin at your heart, maybe reaching out like branches of a tree, but just know that reaching out is not mandatory. If it causes you to lose your balance, you can always go back to hands at your heart. And sometimes, though, it's a little bit easier to balance when we spread out. So you just have to meet yourself where you're at today. Final breath. And then release. Coming back into mountain pose. Take a breath in and a breath out. And then from here, you're just going to actually turn around and lie down on your back on the mat. And I'll turn my camera a little bit. And we will be down on the floor for the rest of the class. And we'll just take a couple minutes here. So as you lie on your back, maybe windshield wiper your feet out a little bit side to side, clench and unclench your hands, and then let your arms relax. Tuck your chin a little bit so that the back of your neck is long on the floor. And feel your belly and your chest rise and fall. Now there's a little bit of relaxation in this posture. Inhaling for another 3, 2, 1, and then exhale, let it go. It turns out we have this whole range of motion to our breath, and when we can learn to breathe a certain way on purpose, we can use our breath to have an effect on how we're feeling. In times of stress or tension, just a little bit remembering to take a big, slow breath usually does the trick. Wind relieving pose is next. Draw your right knee in towards your chest, interlace your fingers on your right shin, and pull your leg in towards you. If you are not quite comfortable with your hands on your shin, you can grab the back of your knee. Just make sure that your shoulders and your neck and your upper back are staying relaxed on the floor. Take a big inhale and a calm exhale. Then switch legs. Right leg goes down, left leg comes up. Grab onto your left shin or the back of your left knee. Relax your shoulders. Relax your hips. Take a big breath in. Maybe go a little bit deeper on the exhale. Then release, left leg down. Bring both legs up. Wrap your arms around your knees, but make sure that your head and neck and shoulders are staying relaxed on the floor. So if you can't quite wrap your arms around your legs, if you could just grab your knees, that works too. Just hugging your knees into your chest. And then release your feet down to the floor. Lift your right leg up in the air. Figure 4 pose. So you'll bend your knee, open your hip, and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Kind of like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. Now, this might be enough of a stretch for you. You can always take your right hand and just gently push your right thigh away from you. If you want more of a stretch, begin to lift your left foot off the ground. This might be enough of a stretch for you. If you want to go deeper, thread the needle. Reach your arms through and grab onto the front of your left shin. Now, no matter what variation you're taking, make sure your right foot stays flexed. And then let's find the breath again. So take a big calm inhale and a calm exhale. And just switch sides. Put your right foot down, left leg goes up. Then bend your knee, open your hip, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. You can use your left hand to push your left thigh, knee away from you. If you want more stretch, start to lift your right leg up off the floor. If you want even more, reach through, thread the needle, grab onto your right shin or behind your right knee. And there's a lot of tension probably going on, hips, the hamstrings. Maybe close your eyes to focus on your breath. So big calm inhale. And calm exhale. And then release both of your legs down. You can give them a little shake. And we'll do a couple core strengthening postures. So lift your legs up into a tabletop position. That's 90-degree bend at your knees, your hips, and your ankles. Take your hands, put them right in the center of your thighs. Now, all you're going to do is push. Push your hands into your legs. Push your legs back into your hands until you feel your core muscles tighten up. So you're pushing as hard as you can, but nothing's moving anywhere. So we're making an isometric contraction of 4, 2, and 1. Feet down. Let your arms go down. Take a breath in and a breath out. Second core strengthening posture. Lift your legs up into a tabletop position. Place your hands on your thighs. Push as hard as you can. Now you want to press your low back into the floor. And we're going to add on to this one. So keep your left hand where it is. We're going to extend right leg and right arm. And then back where you started. And switch sides. Extend left leg, left arm. Back to where you started. Extend right leg, right arm. Back to where you started. Don't forget to keep pushing. Left leg, left arm. Now you can continue on like that, or if you want to supercharge it, lift your shoulders off the ground. Right leg, right arm. Back to center. Left leg, left arm. Back to center. Let's do one more each side. Right leg, right arm. Back to center. Left leg, left arm. Back to center. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just release. Feet down, head down. Take a breath in and a breath out. And take a full body stretch. Legs down, arms up overhead. And from here, we just flip right over onto our bellies for Cobra pose. So you're lying on your belly. Chin is on the floor. Your legs squeeze together, point your toes. And then using just the strength of your back, lift your chest up off the floor. So notice it's not a push-up. I'm actually not even using my hands at all. You can pick your hands up off the floor. Then lift your eyes a little bit. Let your shoulders relax forward. And take a breath in and a breath out. And release down. Now stretch your arms out alongside you. Lift your chest off the floor. Now lift your thighs and relying on our bellies. It's a little bit awkward to breathe. Let's take a big calm inhale and a calm exhale and release down. Now you can repeat either of those two, or you can bend your legs, reach back and grab your feet for bow pose. If you're doing bow pose, take a breath in. As you breathe out, kick your feet into your hands. Otherwise, just repeat cobra or locust. They all have the same property of strengthening your back muscles. And then let's all take a calm breath here. So one more big inhale, one more exhale, and release all the way down. This time, when you lower down, put your right ear on the floor and just look to the left. And take a big breath in and a calm breath out. And then turn your head the other way. So we're just stretching our neck. Take a big breath in and a calm breath out. And eyes look forward again. Put your hands on the floor. Bend your knees and push yourself back into table pose. And from this table pose, curl your toes under, lift your hips into downward facing dog. So we'll take a few Vinyasa flows right here. And if these are brand new to you, don't worry. I'll walk you through it step by step. So the first thing you do is inhale, come forward into a high plank, like the top of a push-up. On the exhale, bend your knees, lower your knees to the floor, untuck your toes, and then bend your elbows until your chest and chin come all the way to the mat. Little cobra on the inhale. Push back into table pose. Curl your toes under, downward dog on the exhale. So we'll flow that one a little more smoothly. Inhale, forward into plank pose, top of a push-up. On the exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Little cobra, breathe in. Push back through table, downward dog, breathe out. Now, if you know that you are, that a full Chaturanga is part of your practice, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I'll walk you through that. Come forward into plank. For a full Chaturanga, you just lower halfway and stop. Then you flip your feet one at a time, straighten your arms into up dog, and then lift your hips back into down dog. Let's take two more flows, and it's your choice if you want to do full or modified. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, push back, downward dog. One more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, push back, downward dog. And then come down onto your knees. Let's take child's pose here. So upper body folds forward. In child's pose, your knees can be together or apart. And then just let your forehead rest to the floor. Take a big inhale, feel your back rise. And calm exhale, back falls. And slowly walk your hands back. Come onto your knees for camel. So if it hurts your knees to stand on your knees like this, you have a couple options. You can fan fold your mat and put your knees on the folded part so that it's a little bit softer. Or you can take camel pose from a sitting down position with your hands on your low back. You basically do the same thing either way. So our hands are on our low back. Draw your elbows toward each other. Inhale, look up, and exhale, go into a backward bend any amount. Now keep your eyes open. If you can reach for your heels, go ahead, grab them. Otherwise, keep your hands on your low back. Calm breath in. And calm breath out. Let's take one more breath. And hands on your low back. And come all the way out. And just take a seated position. Place your hands on your thighs and close your eyes. And sometimes camel pose has a tendency to make you feel a little bit dizzy. That's okay. You just breathe calmly. The dizziness passes. Let's take one more breath. And put your hands on the floor in front of you. Curl your toes under, lift your hips up, downward dog. Half pigeon pose, lift your right leg up, and then draw your right knee towards your right hand. You're gonna turn your leg while it's in midair and set it down at a diagonal to the front of your mat. Now, if you've got tight hips and you feel like your right hip is hovering off the floor, you can always grab a towel or your water bottle or a shoe, I don't know, whatever you can reach. You can put it under your right hip. And then slowly walk your hands forward and find a comfortable place for your head. You can put your head on top of your hands, or you can stack up your fists, or if you have a towel or a block, you can put your head on that. And now if half pigeon completely doesn't work for you because of a knee injury, you'll just flip over onto your back and you'll do the same figure 4 stretch that we already did. So it's basically the exact same stretch. You're just not putting your body weight on top of your leg. So if you have a knee injury or something where you cannot quite get into your half pigeon, then figure 4 is the exact same thing. And so now we're in our half pigeon and we're going to close our eyes and we're going to go a little bit inward and just check out what your brain is thinking about right now. And ask yourself, is that something that is in this room and on your mat? And if the answer is no, can you bring your mind to what's in this room and on your mat? And sometimes the easiest avenue for us to get our minds into the present is to think about our breath. So focus all of your thoughts 100% on your next inhale and your next exhale. And then lift your chest, walk your hands back, curl your back toes under, step it into downward dog. We'll set it the other side. So lift your left leg up, then draw your knee towards your left hand, turn your leg while it's in midair. Your right leg goes straight back. We oftentimes will have one side that feels a lot different than the other, especially in deep stretching. So if you're noticing that maybe you needed a little support on the other side and you don't need it here or vice versa, just know that that's totally normal. And find a comfortable place for your head on the floor. Now turn your attention inward. Find something that's on your mat right now to focus on. Maybe it's your breath. Maybe it's how your body feels. The idea here is not that we're trying to stop our mind from having thoughts, because that's just not something we can do. But the idea is to be able to choose when we're thinking about those other things in our life and when we're not. We can experience a lot more peace of mind when we have the ability to bring our mind into the present when it becomes hooked on something that, you know, maybe is from work or from school. Bring it back right here to your next inhale. Next exhale. Let's take one more breath. Now lift your chest. This time, we're going to rock onto the left hip. Swing the right leg all the way around. And place your feet together with your knees open. And take a breath in. And on the breath out, just gently fold forward any amount. Just let your head hang down. Now, how far your feet are away from you just depends on your body. So you can have your feet out a little bit further, or in a little bit further. Let's take another breath here. The idea here is let the back of your neck relax, let your shoulders and your upper back relax. And then slowly come back up. Use your hands to bring your knees back together. And then just take little baby steps with your feet out in front of you. Your legs can be straight or they can have a little bit of a bend. And you're just going to fold forward again. If your legs are bent and you have an object near you, a towel or a water bottle or something, if you want to put it behind your knees, you can. And then it's not mandatory that you touch your toes or anything like that. You can just let your arms rest alongside your legs. Let your head relax down again. So it turns out the muscles that we use to support our head, like our neck muscles, are generally turned on all day long. Obviously, that's their job, is to keep your head up. So it takes a little bit of coaxing to actually get them to relax. So just focusing on those tight muscles and then slow down your breath. And then from here, use your hands to slowly walk yourself back up. Keep your left leg out in front of you. Take the right leg, bend it, and cross it over. Then put your right hand on the floor behind you and wrap your left arm around the leg that's bent. So again, the left leg is straight on the floor. The right leg is the one that bends over it. The right hand is behind you. The left hand grabs the leg and will twist the spine. So inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, turn and twist. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, turn and twist. One more breath. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, turn and twist. And then slowly unwind. Come back to center. Hands on the floor behind you. Just switch your legs. Left hand behind you for support. Right arm wraps around. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, twist. Inhale, sit up tall without untwisting. Exhale, twist deeper. One more. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, twist to your deepest. And then slowly release. Come back to center. Hug both of your knees in. And then you can turn around or you can stay facing the way that you're facing. Slowly roll down onto your back. Bend your legs, grab both of your feet. This is happy baby pose. Your legs can be bent or straight. Just rock it out a little bit. Let your hips, your low back, everything release. And then hug your knees in and lower your legs down for your final resting posture. So your legs are down, arms are relaxed. And then scan your body from bottom to top. So toes relax, ankles relax, calves, thighs. Let your belly relax and your hips. Relax your chest and your shoulders. Relax the palms of your hands and the tips of your fingers. Even relax that little space in between your eyebrows. And the only thing that's moving is the rise and fall of your belly and your chest. And just very slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You roll your head from side to side. And take a full body stretch, arms up overhead. And hug your knees into your chest. If you want to stay lying on your back, that's totally fine. Otherwise, you can make your way up into a seated position. We're finishing similar to how we started. Just close your eyes and take a breath in. Remember, we're all in this together. And so we lean into each other to be together to get through this. Hands at your heart, take a breath in. And breathe out. Namaste. And that is it for class.